Hi guys, and welcome to another video by I'm Vegan Frodo. Thank you so much for tuning back in again. Today I'm going to do a recipe video. Recipes are something that I get requests quite a bit, by different people. Naturally, being a vegan, I've been vegan for about 4 years now. I've tried many different things. Over the last 6 months, I have taken my ability to cook and create and make things out of incredible plant-based products in so many different ways. I'm showing you my kitchen. How fun is that? By the way, down there are all the products that we're going to be using. There's a whole bunch of them. You don't have to have them all. Now, you don't have to have them all. I've tried this recipe many different times, and I believe that this is the best way to make it. So if you want to learn or try out a new recipe for awesome banana bread or banana cake, keep on watching. So let's get the show on the road.
1, 2, 3, 4.
To begin with, we're going to need a few different ingredients. We're going to have a dry ingredients and wet ingredients. Let's check them out. So for dry ingredients, in order to make flour, now we won't be using ordinary flour in this recipe. What we're going to use is oats. These are just regular rolled oats, not quick oats, just the raw oats. Sunflower seeds, I have some coconut powder, and I also have some nuts, walnuts and almonds. For other dry ingredients that we have for egg replacements, if you will, you can use white chia seeds or grounded flax seed, linseed. So now this is already grounded up, but if you want to save some more nutritional value, the omega-3s and omega-6s in your flax seed, you can always just buy the raw little whole kernels and blend them up at home in your NutriBullet. For wet ingredients, we are going to have almond milk or any kind of plant-based milk that you like. I'm gonna need some water to make the vegan eggs. Then we're going to have a little bit of coconut oil, however much you like if you're into that. And for sweet stuff, we can use coconut syrup. I've also used rice malt, and today I think we're going to be trying golden syrup just for something different before. Some other ingredients that we can use is vanilla essence, stevia if you want to add some extra flavoring to your banana bread. You can use sultana raisins, you can use cacao nibs, you can use poppy seeds. There's also baking powder and baking soda, just a little bit of each, and of course the bananas. So in regards to the recipe, following the recipe we need 3 bananas, but I do like to put a little bit more. By little bit I mean double. So I'm going to be using these very nicely ripened up bananas, 6 of them. You generally need about half a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, but I'm going to be using just basically a little bit more than that, just because I really like the flavor of that. You need 1 vegan egg, and you can, or 1 chia seed egg, and you can follow the recipe on the screen on how much you want to use of each ingredient. In regards to dry ingredients in this recipe, you will need about 4 cups of the dry ingredients. So as long as you have, your oats, combined blended up nuts, coconuts, and sunflower seeds, all together need to make 4 cups of flour. The way we do this is I like to toast up the nuts in the oven at reasonably medium to low heat, just to roast them up and then put them through in the NutriBullet blender, and basically that creates a really nice flour. Similarly with the coconut shreds, this doesn't need to be as fine. The size of the particles, they don't need to be as fine, but it is also will be part of our dry ingredients and will be in a way a type of flour. In regards to wet ingredients, we will need about 45 mils or 3 tablespoons of the coconut oil. And if you don't like it, I think you can obviously skip it or replace it for something else. We will also need about half a cup of the plant-based milk. And again, you can use any milk that you like, whether it's almond, soy, or any other kind. And we will need about half a cup of your liquid sugars that you choose to add. Of course, this is not like the regular powdered sugar, and we can have a discussion over what is helpful and what is not, but basically if you choose to add some sort of fluid sugary sweetness, make sure that is obviously something that's a little bit helpful and something that you would enjoy. Other ingredients include about half a teaspoon of baking powder and baking soda, and a little bit for the top, some poppy seeds, some cacao nibs, and sultanas, as much as you like. To begin with, let's create our flaxseed eggs. I take a small bowl, and this time I'm going to be using the flaxseed, grounded up flaxseed for the eggs. We stir that, and we're going to let it sit for a minute. Actually, this time I'm going to add some white chia seeds as well, just to add a bit of a different flavor. And I actually like the seeds and the way they crunch up. And it will become a bit of a smooth, gooey mixture. It's about 150, 170. And I'm going to put my nuts away for roasting. Now, while our flaxseed egg is combining together very well and getting that consistency that we desire from it, and our nuts are in the oven getting roasted, getting ready for us to create a flour out of them, we will start working with our wet ingredients. So for wet ingredients, we're going to use our bananas. So quickly, carefully peel them. Make sure they're nice, yellow and spotty. Remember, it is really nice to add a banana on top and decorate your banana bread with it. So make sure you leave at least one behind. Going to add some coconut oil if you choose to add some. And another wet ingredient I'm going to use, as I said previously, is my almond milk. We need about 3/4 of the cup. The mixture will be a tiny bit chunky, but also fairly consistent and smooth. And then on top, you can add your liquid sugars or sweeteners. So that really depends on how sweet your bananas are, how ripe they are. We will go ahead and add the required amount of the liquid sugar. My actual favorite is this amazing coconut syrup. I think it's very, very tasty, and I've just been loving adding it on top of my buckwheat pancakes, on top of the inside of the banana bread, and instead of sugar, just do different things. And add to this recipe about a half a cup of sugar, liquid sugar. And the worst of it all is that I can't keep my heart straight. Flaxseed egg. As you can see, the consistency is pretty thick actually this time. So we just put it in. Now the nuts can be a little bit more roasted, definitely quite a bit more roasted, but I think this time we'll just go with them as they are. And now we're going to make our flour. Now make sure your nuts are well cooled down after being roasted. Put them in your... And I like to leave a few nuts as they are, just so I can add them to the dough and make that bit of an extra texture at the end. Similarly, make flour out of oats and coconut shreds. I'm going to add some poppy seeds to taste really how much you like. I think they're pretty amazing, so I add quite a bit in. Another ingredient that I absolutely love, but I forgot to mention before, is grounded up cinnamon. So I'm just adding some to taste again. I'm mixing the whole thing up. The next ingredient I want to use are my cacao nibs. Just sprinkle them on top a little bit. And I think I love banana bread or banana cake with a lot of variety of textures and things intermingling. And we'll go with some regular raisins. No real measure to the raisins, but you can kind of assume that it's about a cup that I just put in. Now the mixture is becoming somewhat chunky and a bit thick, but still horrible. very last ingredients I add is baking powder and baking soda. Just basically because I think they start to react very quickly, so I want to add them at the last minute, so I'm not stopping them from basically doing their job. I'm adding about half a teaspoon of one. And half a teaspoon of the almond. I think our mixture looks pretty great. The next step, of course, is putting the mixture in the baking tray. Baking bread tray or a silicone bread tray if you have one. To cover, just putting some baking paper in to cover all the sides. And what I like to do at the top is decorate it with some bananas. So you open up another banana. Cut it up. Now the banana bread is ready to go in the oven. So you want it to be at about 170, more or less. And you gotta wait about 30 to 40 minutes. Now, while your banana cake is baking, you obviously have plenty of time to clean up the mess you've made and chuck everything out that you no longer require, like rubbish and banana peels. But something that you need to think about is while your banana bread is baking, sometimes depending on the way the heat is transmitted in your oven and circulated in your oven, sometimes your insides will need just a little bit longer than the top to sit in the oven for. Although, mind you, this banana bread is actually pretty moist inside, and I think that's the beauty of it. I like to add aluminium tin foil on top over the banana bread, basically to create a compartment, a little box, and allow the whole bread bake through perfectly. There's another little trick.
Cherry, red cube.